Hello, dear students. Welcome to Hybrid Learning. So, today we will be studying about Scientific Investigation Skills Part 4. In the last three videos, we have studied about the different types of scientific methods, what are the importance, how do we apply that. But regardless of all that, there are certain skills which are required to study any scientific investigation method. So this video, we are strictly going to look into all the different skills which are required during the process. So let's get started. So now, whenever we study any kind of scientific method, there are some major important steps that needs to be followed. Okay. So the first step that we are required to follow that is the formulating a question. So whenever we take up any kind of scientific study, first we need to formulate a question. Now, this question can come from a curiosity of the researcher. The question can come from a previous study of any other investigation, or the generation of the question can come from any other scientific data. So we can generate a question, we can formulate a problem. Okay. Now, after formulating a question, the next is generating a hypothesis. Now, in the previous video, we have discussed that what is a hypothesis, right? So it's a tentative answer to any scientific problem, right? So we have to get, or we have to generate a hypothesis which will be based on the question. Okay. The investigator is taking some question. So the hypothesis will be generated based on that question. Okay. Now, suppose for that particular study, you are not able to generate any kind of hypothesis. So what you will do? You can simply make a prediction. Now, don't think that prediction is just simply a guesswork. No, the prediction has to be based on some logical understanding and logical reasoning and some prior knowledge of that particular subject. Then only you can make some particular prediction. Okay. Now, after that, the next step is to gather or generate data. So this is very important because after doing all the hypothesis work, we need to find methods in which we can gather the data. Okay. Now, the data gathering can be anything. There can be different ways. Now, we have studied the different methods also. So you can apply that depending on the question that you are taken. So either you can do counting, right? You can count your data. You can measure your data, different certain things. You can also take data sets from previous studies. And that also you can take and you can verify your current work. So all these things can be possible. But we have to generate or gather data for that particular subject. Okay. Now that is not the ultimatum. Because after you generate or gather the data, the next most important step is to analyze the data. Now, this is a very important step and a very crucial step because after gathering the data, analyzing data is very important. You have to analyze it very crucially. You have to see all the pros and cons. Okay. You have to also, or you can also do something. You can also draw some graphs. You can draw some flow charts or related to the data that you have got so that we can have a clear understanding that how did you get the data and what the data is actually going to give me. So that is drawing conclusion. So you can analyze the data and after analyzing, you can draw certain conclusions and you can picturize them using any graph or using any plot or using any flowcharts. After that, the last step is communicate results and take actions. Very, very important step. The final step, but very important step. Because what you have studied has to be provided or has to be given to the scientific community, right? So how you're going to do that? Suppose you're going to write an article for it. You're going to write a journal. You're going to submit it to some place, some journal or somewhere through which all the other people of the scientific community are going to receive it. Okay. Now this is very important because there are certain methods which is called peer review method in which your data and whatever you have done, the work will be thoroughly investigated. Okay. Now, in that process, you have to provide all the necessary data that you have received. If you have done any modification in the current study, if you have done modification in the previous study, all the data, all the information should be provided to them. So after all these factors have been cleared, the journal will be reviewed and correspondingly, it will be shown to the community. This is a very important step because this is how the community people will understand that what actually you have done and what are the new findings from your study. Okay, so these are some important method, some important skills of any scientific method. These are some of the important steps. I hope you understood this. Okay, now if you have any doubt, please post in the comment box. If you like our channel, please subscribe and like the video. Again, if you have any doubt, you can always post in the comment box and ask us any doubt if you have. Okay, bye bye. See you on the next video.